Top stories in this week's edition of the Winn Weekender. U.S. advisory warns that St. Kitts and Nevis passports used to facilitate financial crime. IMF gives a glowing report on St. Kitts and Nevis's economy, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party declares readiness for elections. Welcome to the Winn Weekender, a comprehensive recap of some of the major stories making the news this week. I'm Tony Frederick Armstrong. The U.S. Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network issued an advisory that passports obtained through the St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment program are being used to facilitate crime. Prime Minister Dr. Denzil Douglas responded to the U.S. advisory in a press conference Thursday. More from Winn TV's Ken Richards.
The Prime Minister warned that existing policy would be enforced to ensure that the citizenship of economic citizens found to have used the Federation's passport to commit crimes would be revoked.
It is already a matter of policy that St. Kitts and Nevis will revoke citizenship if any crime is known to be committed. This is a current policy, and this current policy we will not hesitate to enforce. It is our nation's interest to ensure that there is continued confidence in our Citizenship by Investment program, and so we will enhance our security measures as appropriate.
The U.S. advisory points to Iranians having obtained St. Kitts and Nevis passports even after assurances that they wouldn't by the government in Bastille. However, the Prime Minister says the Americans got it wrong.
I think there might have been some misunderstanding and misinterpretation on the part of the United States with regard to those who were already processed and had been approved after appropriate due diligence checks had been done and they had successfully passed those checks, but which, however, were continued to be processed in the issuance of citizenship. We always know in government that if you introduce a policy and persons or applications are already in the system, you will complete those in the system and thus bring the program to an end, for whom the advisory would have been made.
But it said clearly, Prime Minister, that despite the assurances your government gave last July, Iranians continue to get St. Kitts and Nevis passports.
And that is not true. I just explained what their statement would mean.
But I'm telling you what the advice.
But I'm telling you what the situation is. No Iranian could have applied to the program after July the 19th and would have been processed. None. There were a few, as I said, who were being processed, Iranians who were living outside of Iran, who were citizens or residents, I would say, of Canada, and some of whom were even in the United States. And they were already processed in our system. They were found to be above board, and the processing was completed.
I'm Ken Richards for the Winn Weekender.
The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, has given St. Kitts and Nevis a glowing report as the country's 3-year-old standby arrangement with the fund comes to an end. Ken Richards has more.
At a news conference Wednesday, IMF country representative Judith Gould told reporters that the Federation has done well and the program can boast of admirable achievements.
I am pleased to say that the program has borne a lot of benefits. There's been substantial progress under the program and many admirable achievements. And we hope to see the very good track record sustained going forward. We are at the end of our mission. We have appraised that the growth in the economy has recovered at a healthy pace, that economic activity is expanding at 3.8%. We've also determined that both the fiscal and external balances are continuing to improve substantially, benefiting from CBI inflows as well as other investments. Debt has been brought down substantially by over a third, from 164% of GDP to 104. And with the ongoing implementation of the government's reform program, it is set to decline to 60% by 2020 which would be the lowest in the ECCU region.
Asked specifically about the state of the economy, the IMF official said it had dramatically improved in 2013 and continues to expand at a healthy pace following 4 years of decline and stagnation. St. Kitts and Nevis entered into a 3-year US $84 million standby arrangement with the IMF in 2011 at a time when the country's debt-to-GDP ratio stood at over 200%. Not all of the funding was used by Bastille, a development lauded by Country Representative Gold.
It's a very good thing because it means that your fiscal situation has significantly improved and that you no longer have to draw down on IMF money to sustain government finances and to sustain the imports into the economy. So it is a very good thing. Yes, the money you don't pay down interest on the money you have not drawn. So you only pay interest on the money you actually have drawn. So overall, the fact that the government no longer needs to rely on the IMF money, but hopefully still on our advice, is a very, very good sign.
I'm Ken Richards for the Winn Weekender.
Still to come on the Winn Weekender, 20 confirmed cases of chikungunya in St. Kitts.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Winn FM.
Winn FM's mission is to contribute meaningfully to the information, awareness, and the development of our nation and the region through the building of educated and informed communities. Winn FM faces the issues squarely, without shying away from controversy, while striving continuously to provide balanced, responsible reporting.
Better music, better talk, better radio. 98.9 Winn FM.
Welcome back. The St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party is readying itself for general elections. The party held its annual national convention last Sunday. Chair Marcella Leibert, speaking to Winn FM following the public session of the party's annual conference on Sunday, said while its campaign message had not yet been crafted, the party's message is already clear.
The general message of the Labour Party is always the upliftment of our people regardless of where they're at. And that is why we're able to capture the support of a wide cross-section of people, because regardless of which strata of society you fall in, you can always find plans and programs of the Labour Party to take you to the next level. So that is generally our overarching aim.
Prime Minister Dr. Denzil Douglas and other executive members of the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party were re-elected unopposed Sunday evening. Dr. Asim Martin as Deputy Leader, Ms. Leibert as Chair, and Nigel Carty as Deputy Chair. Diana Williams-Humphrey was returned as National Secretary, Karen Crosman as National Assistant Secretary, and Patrice Ward as National Treasurer. The other elected members of the National Executive are Tamisha Fifield, Terry Williams, and Hazel Ross Robinson. Sunday, the party chair said the next step for the SKNLP was preparing to win the next general elections.
I thought that the conference went very well. We had some changes to it, and I thought that they were, much more effective than we've had before. And there's a lot of energy, and I thought that a lot of that energy came from the new candidates. So I thought that they brought a lot of energy and vibrancy to the party.
What for the party going forward? What's your focus now? Full election mode?
I would think so. I think right now for the party, our main thing would be to ensure that all of the constituencies are in a position to win the next election.
Prime Minister Dr. Denzil Douglas is convinced that supporters are ready to return his party to office for an unprecedented fifth term.
The electorate inside this conference hall has been electrified and energized. And they truly have brought springtime to the Labour Party. And as you're hearing for yourselves, the people say that they're ready.
Having held the position for 19 years, Prime Minister Douglas is the longest-service Prime Minister in the region. Sunday, he was re-elected as national political leader of the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party for the 26th consecutive year. There are now 20 confirmed cases of chikungunya disease in St. Kitts, according to Acting Chief Environmental Officer Alexander Riley. Winn TV's Andre Huey has more.
There are 20 confirmed cases of chikungunya disease in St. Kitts, according to Acting Chief Environmental Health Officer Mr. Alexander Riley. Mr. Riley made this confirmation Tuesday during an edition of Winn FM's Talking Trash program.
As I indicated when I was here a couple of weeks ago, we had just one confirmed case. To date, that number has increased from 1 to 20 confirmed cases.
20?
20 confirmed cases.
Is it centralized? Is it all over St. Kitts? Or is any particular area having it more than the other?
It's not. Well, as I indicated, the index case was in Sandy Point. So the index case was in Sandy Point. So what you find is that most of the cases that we've been having, suspected and confirmed cases, is in the Sandy Point.
When you said the index case?
Index case meaning the first case into the Federation, which was an imported case.
What are people supposed to do? If you have it, you stay home, don't go to work, what happens?
Well, anybody who thinks that they have it should visit a medical doctor or the nearest health center in their community.
Chikungunya is a mosquito-borne disease that causes fever and joint pain in humans. Other symptoms of the disease include rash, muscle pain, and fatigue. As the hurricane season approaches, Mr. Riley listed measures that the Environmental Health Department will be taking to prevent the spread of chikungunya, including fogging, beginning this Wednesday.
The Environmental Health Department, as indicated before, will be taking the necessary steps to ensure that we do as much as we can to prevent and control the spread of chikungunya. And as we approach the hurricane season, we would just like to ask the general public to help us as we try to help you. We are in the process of implementing a thermal fogging program. As most people might know, where we send around a truck with what we call a smoke truck. And we'll be doing it we'll try to do our best to make sure that all communities are serviced with it. Hopefully, this process will start in the Sandy Point area tomorrow. And then as we go along, we'll be in the Newton Ground and St. Paul's area on Thursday, and then the Patterson Ground and Deadby area on Friday. All of these thermal fogging exercise will be done in the evening because you find that the mosquito that mostly spreads this fever comes out early in the morning and early in the evening.
To end the Winn Weekender, a look at some of the headlines. U.S. advisory warns that St. Kitts and Nevis passports used to facilitate financial crime. And IMF gives a glowing report on St. Kitts and Nevis's economy. This has been the Winn Weekender. On behalf of the Winn TV News team, I'm Tony Frederick Armstrong.